Today, let's learn about tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is nothing but a potentially serious infectious bacterial disease that mainly affects the lungs. The bacteria that cause tuberculosis are spread when an infected person coughs or sneezes. HIV-associated tuberculosis. HIV-infected individuals have very high incidence of tuberculosis all over the world. Vice versa, rate of HIV infection in patients of tuberculosis is very high. Moreover, HIV-infected individual on acquiring infection with tubercle bacilli develops active disease rapidly, that is, within few weeks rather than after months or years. Pulmonary tuberculosis in HIV presents in typical manner. However, it is more often sputum smear negative but often culture positive. Extrapulmonary tuberculosis is more common in HIV disease and manifests commonly by involving lymph nodes, pleura, pericardium, and tuberculous meningitis. Causative organism. Tubercle bacillus or Koch bacillus, called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, causes tuberculosis in the lungs and other tissues of the human body. The organism is a strict aerobe and thrives best in tissues with high oxygen tension, such as in the apex of the lung. Mode of transmission. Number 1. Inhalation of organisms present in fresh cough droplets or in dried sputum from an open case of pulmonary tuberculosis is the primary cause for tuberculosis transmission. Number 2. Ingestion of the organisms leads to development of tonsillar or intestinal tuberculosis. This mode of infection of human tubercle bacilli is from self-swallowing of infected sputum of an open case of pulmonary tuberculosis or ingestion of bovine tubercle bacilli from milk of diseased cows. Number 3. Inoculation of the organisms into the skin may rarely occur from infected postmortem tissue. Number 4. Transplacental route results in development of congenital tuberculosis in fetus from infected mother and is a rare mode of transmission. Spread of tuberculosis. The disease spreads in the body by various routes. Number 1. Local spread. This takes place by macrophages carrying the bacilli into the surrounding tissues. Number 2. Lymphatic spread. Tuberculosis is primarily an infection of lymphoid tissues. The bacilli may pass into lymphoid follicles of pharynx, bronchi, intestines, or regional lymph nodes, resulting in regional tuberculosis lymphadenitis, which is a typical of childhood infections. Number 3. Hematogenous spread. This occurs either as a result of tuberculous bacillemia because of the drainage of lymphatics into the venous system or due to caseous material escaping through ulcerated wall of a vein. This produces millet seed-sized lesions in different organs of the body like lungs, liver, kidneys, bones, and other tissues and is known as miliary tuberculosis. Number 4. By the natural passages. Here, the infection may spread from lung lesions into the pleura known as tuberculous pleurisy. Number 2. Transbronchial spread into the adjacent lung segments. Number 3. Tuberculous salpingitis into peritoneal cavity, which is also known as tuberculous peritonitis. Infected sputum into larynx, which is called tuberculous laryngitis, and swallowing of infected sputum, which is also called ileocecal tuberculosis, and finally renal lesions into ureter and down to trigone of bladder. Types of tuberculosis. We have two types, which are primary and secondary. Primary occurs mostly in children, whereas secondary tuberculosis occurs in children and adults. The organs are almost exclusive in lungs for primary tuberculosis, whereas secondary tuberculosis takes place in lungs, lymph nodes, other organs also, such as genitourinary tract, bones, meninges, brain, eye, liver, spleen, intestines, skin, etc. Lesions. Gons complex, that is, lung lesions as consolidation, lymphatic vessel, and hilar lymph node lesions. In case of secondary tuberculosis, the lesions may be tubercles, miliary lesions, cavitation, fibrocaseous lesions, caseous pneumonia, pleurisy, or effusion. Fate. For primary tuberculosis, the fate is healing by fibrosis, calcification, or it even may get reactivated in weakened immunity. In case of secondary tuberculosis, the fate is consolidation, parenchymal nodules, thickened pleura, amyloidosis, reactivation of healed lesion in impaired immunity, and AIDS. To summarize, primary tuberculosis is the infection of an individual who has not been previously infected or immunized is called primary tuberculosis or Gons complex or childhood tuberculosis. Secondary tuberculosis is the infection of an individual who has been previously infected or sensitized is called secondary or post-primary or reinfection or chronic tuberculosis. This is how a primary tuberculosis looks like, and this is the case of secondary tuberculosis. Next is fibrocaseous tuberculosis. The original area of tuberculous pneumonia undergoes peripheral healing and massive central cessation necrosis, which may either break into a bronchus from a cavity or remain as a soft caseous lesion without drainage into a bronchus or bronchiole to produce a non-cavitary lesion. So this is how a fibrocaseous tuberculosis looks like. Next is tuberculous caseous pneumonia. The caseous material from a case of secondary tuberculosis in an individual with high degree of hypersensitivity may spread to rest of the lung, producing caseous pneumonia. This is how caseous pneumonia looks like. Next is miliary tuberculosis. This is lymphohematogenous spread of tuberculous infection from primary focus or later stages of tuberculosis. The spread may occur to systemic organs or isolated organ. The spread is either by entry of infection into pulmonary vein producing disseminated or isolated organ lesion in different extrapulmonary sites such as liver, spleen, kidney, brain, meninges, genitourinary tract, and bone marrow, or into pulmonary artery restricting the development of miliary lesion within the lungs. Next is tuberculous empyema. The cessating pulmonary lesions of tuberculosis may be associated with pleurisy, that is, pleuritis or pleural effusion, as a reaction and is expressed as a serous or fibrinous exudates. Pleural effusion may heal by fibrosis and obliterate the pleural space. Occasionally, pleural cavity may contain caseous material and develop into tuberculous empyema. So this is a case of tuberculous empyema, and this is how a miliary tubercle looks like. Clinical features and diagnosis of tuberculosis. The clinical manifestations in tuberculosis may be variable depending upon the location, extent, and type of lesions. Number 1. Referable to lungs, such as productive cough, pleural effusion, dyspnea, orthopnea, etc. Here, chest X-ray may show typical apical changes like pleural effusion, nodularity, and miliary or diffuse infiltrates in the lung parenchyma. Number 2. Systemic features such as fever, night sweats, fatigue, loss of weight, and appetite. Long-standing and untreated cases of tuberculosis may develop systemic secondary amyloidosis. The diagnosis is made by the following test. Number 1. AFM microscopy of diagnostic specimen such as sputum, aspirated material. Number 2. Mycobacterial culture. Number 3. Molecular methods such as PCR. Number 4. Complete hemogram. Number 5. Radiographic procedure, for example, X-ray, that is chest X-ray showing characteristic hilar nodules and other parenchymal changes. Number 6. Mantoux skin test. Number 7. Serologic test based on detection of antibodies are not useful, although these are being advocated in some developing countries. Number 8. Fine needle aspiration cytology of an enlarged peripheral lymph node is quite useful and easy way for confirmation of diagnosis and has largely replaced the biopsy diagnosis of tuberculosis.
Hope you have understood the video. Like, subscribe and press the bell button for more videos.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.